Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Oligosaccharides. Oli- Oligosaccharides. These are the carbohydrate consist of 2 to 10 monosaccharide subunits. Oligosaccharides can have many functions. For examples, they are commonly found on the plasma membrane of animal cells, where they can play a role in cell-to-cell recognition. In general, they are found attached to compatible amino acid chains in protein or to lipids. Oligosaccharides are often found as a component of glycoprotein and glycolipids, which is called conjugate molecules. They are often used as chemical markers on the outside of the cell, often for cell recognition. These are the major functions. Some plants such as squash, several deciduous trees including lime, hazelnut, elm and olive trees translocate in their seed tubes oligosaccharides of the raffinose family instead of sucrose. Understand? Sieve tubes are present in the phloem tissues, so these plants does not translocate sucrose in phloem, rather they translocate raffinose. In these oligosaccharides, sucrose is linked by glycosidic bond to one or more galactose molecules. Oligosaccharides of the raffinose family include raffinose with one stachyose with two or and verbacose with three galactose residues. These oligosaccharides have served as storage compound and, for example, in pea and bean seeds make up 5% to 15% of the dry matter. Understand? Properties of oligosaccharides. They can be hydrolyzed into smaller carbohydrates. Their carbon number range from 12 to 16. They are further classified on the basis of number of subunits they contain. They are comparatively less sweet in taste. Among them, disaccharides are most common and important. Classes of oligosaccharides. Disaccharides, trisaccharides and tetrasaccharides are the classes of oligosaccharides. First of all, we discuss disaccharides. Disaccharides, these consist of two monosaccharides subunits. For example, sucrose, maltose, lactose, cellulose, trehalose, etc. Trisaccharides, these consist of three monosaccharide subunits. For example, raffinose. Tetrasaccharides, these consist of four monosaccharide subunits. Tetra means four, so these consist of four monosaccharide subunits. For example, stachyose. Understand? Disaccharides. The most widely spread and studied oligosaccharides are disaccharides. What are disaccharides? The, the oligosaccharides, which consist of two monosaccharide subunits, are called disaccharides. They consist of two monosaccharide units joined together via glycosidic linkage. The linkage present between two monosaccharides which joins them is glycosidic linkage. They hydrolyze in the presence of an acid or an enzyme to give two molecules of monosaccharides. Hydrolyzed mean breakdown in the presence of water. Understand? Common disaccharides include sucrose, lactose, and maltose. During digestion, these disaccharides are hydrolyzed in the small intestine to form the component monosaccharides, which are then absorbed across the intestinal wall and into the bloodstream to the transported to the cells. Students, oligosaccharides or disaccharides does not directly absorb or in the intestine. First of all, they hydrolyzed into monosaccharides, which is a smaller subunits. Then they across the intestine wall into bloodstream to transport to the cells. So it's a common question and very important question. Disaccharides does not hydrolyzed directly hydrolyzed into small intestine. First of all, they hydrolyzed into monosaccharides and then across the cell membrane or wall of intestine and transport into to the cells through bloodstream. General account of cellobiose. Cellobiose is a disaccharide with the formula of C12H22O11. It is a reducing sugar and consists of two beta glucose molecules. Two beta glucose molecules linked by beta 1,4 bond. Students, what do you mean by beta 1,4 bond? It's mean when we draw a ring structure, carbon number 1 of first ring links with the carbon number 4 of the second ring. So they throw glycosidic bond. So they that is called beta 1,4 linkage. And first hydroxyl group on the basis of hydroxyl group they may be called alpha or beta. It is probably present in our only traces in nature. However, it's apparently released during the digestion of polysaccharides. That's important point. Cellubiose by the cellulases of microorganisms. It can be hydrolyzed to glucose enzymatically or with acid. Cellubiose has 8 free alcohol groups. 8 free alcohol groups, 1 acetyl linkage and 1 hemiacetal linkage, which give rise to strong inter and intramolecular hydrogen bonds. It can be obtained by enzymatic or esteric hydrolysis of cellulose and cellulose-rich materials such as cotton, jute, and paper. Cellubiose can be used as an indicator carbohydrate for Crohn's disease and malabsorption syndromes. That's called beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. First ring carbon number first and the second ring carbon number 4, and the beta mean their hydroxyl group on carbon number 1 should be on upper side. So that's why it is called beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. Understand? General account of maltose. Maltose is also called malt sugar. It contains two molecules of glucose that are joined with an alpha 1,4 linkage. What is which type of linkage? Alpha 1,4 linkage. That's the key point you should be realized. Keep keep in your mind. In cellobiose there is beta 1,4 linkage, but in maltose there is alpha 1,4 linkage. Maltose is a white crystalline solid with the melting point 160 to 165 degrees centigrade. It is soluble in water and is dextrorotatory. Because of free aldehyde group, maltose, maltose is also a reducing sugar and forms osazones with phenyl hydrazines. What is osazones? Osazones is a chemical test which is used to detect the reducing sugars. Alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage on carbon number 1. Their hydroxyl group on the lower side, so it's called alpha 1, and their carbon number 4 linked together through glycosidic linkage, so it's called alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkage, and their carbon number 1 hydroxyl group on carbon number 1 is lower side. Maltose does not occur abundantly in nature. However, its occurrence has been occasionally reported. It is major product of enzymatic hydrolysis of starch. Sprouting cereal grains are rich in amylases, which split the starch present to dextrins and maltose. Dextrins are group of low molecular weight carbohydrates produced by the hydrolysis of starch or glycogen. Dextrins can also be produced from starch using enzymes like amylases, as during digestion in human body and during malting and mashing, applying heat under dry conditions. Understand? Malt prepared from sprouting barley is an excellent source of maltose. Maltose occurs in the body as an intermediate product of starch digestion. Maltose is easily hydrolyzed into two identical units of glucose by dilute acid or by enzymes maltase found in the intestine. So students, it should easily be hydrolyzed into two identical subunits of glucose in the presence of acids or enzymes maltase. It should also be noted that the enzyme maltase hydrolyzes or splits only alpha glycoside linkage and has no action upon beta glycosides. Understand? So that's the reason why this enzyme maltase enzymes does not react on cellobiose because it acts on only alpha glycosidic linkage, not on beta glycoside. General account of lactose. It is called the milk sugar because it found in milk. Lactose is a large sugar molecule that is made up of two smaller sugar molecules, glucose and galactose. It is also reducing sugar. Lactose is hydrolyzed by lactase in intestines by lactase, galactose, beta 1 4 glycosidic linkage. Understand? Glucose plus galactose, they combine to form lactose. Lactose intolerance in a condition in which lactose in milk cannot be digested well in small intestine. The undigested lactose then moves into a large intestine where bacteria attack it, forming large amount of gas. Sim- Students, it's a common example. Some people, when they take milk, they feel uncomfortable. So that's the reason, because they have no enzyme which name is lactase which act on it. So the proper digestion of milk and milk product does not take place in it. So it produces, so undigested material moves into small large intestine where they forming large amount of gas. So their symptoms are intolerance including bloating, cramps, nausea and vomiting. Awareness of food containing lactose is recommended for people who show sign of lactose tolerance. You can see lactose when lactase enzymes, you can see in that diagram. It is lactose. When lactase act on it, it should be broken into galactose and glucose, which are two subunits of sugar, monosaccharides. So students, it's your lecture. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay.